future students out there. For those who are college bound and interested in or curious about taking out a federal student loan, I just want to give you some advice. I am a former student. I have both my bachelor's and my master's. I took out student loans with my master's program. I was fortunate enough for my dad to help me with my bachelor's degree program, but with my master's, I took care of that with the federal student loan. I'm still in debt with that loan, so I just want to just share some tidbits with you all. I know that college is the goal that is pushed, pretty much shoved down your throats, but be sure that you are mindful of what degree program you go into. Stay current with your career salary as far as your expectations of that salary. Be wary of the websites that tells you your projected salaries within that degree program, because I'm just going to tell you a lot of times that information is untrue. I don't know how they get that research, but it is untrue. If you're in a small town, if you're in a mid-sized town, those salaries are not realistic. Maybe for a big city, but still you got to think about your cost of living, because the bigger the city, the more expensive things are going to be. I would just be mindful of what you're going to study, what your realistic expectation of income will be, looking at how much money you are going to pay to accomplish that degree. A federal student loan is definitely helpful for you. While you're in school, be sure to pay the interest on that loan, because that will definitely help pay down your balance at the very end. You can have them apply your money that you're paying towards the principal. The principal is the actual amount of the loan versus the interest. It's best to do it that way. They might want you to allot some of it towards interest, but put the majority of it towards your principal. That way, when it is time for you to repay, which is 6 months after your last day of attendance, you will be in a better position, because that you will see a significant difference in the loan owed amount. Stay on top of your loan payments. Do not miss a single payment, because you want to be current. It does affect your credit. Do not go without paying on your loan. If you run into any trouble, reach out to the lender immediately and see what type of programs they have that you may qualify for. I'm urging you to do this, because if you fall behind on your federal student loans, it will show up on your credit report, and it will have a negative impact on your credit report. I don't care what anyone tells you, it will have a negative impact. True, when you do apply for a house or a car, a lot of times they don't look at your student loans, they don't look at medical bills. However, it does affect your credit. If you go 6 consecutive months without paying on your federal student loan, you will fall into a status known as default. Default is horrible, because it's not easy getting out of default. Default means that you haven't paid in a while, and there are some consequences that could happen. Your income taxes can be garnished, it can be taken. Let's say if you have an income tax check waiting, or you're expecting your income tax check, they can take that, because it belongs to the federal government. They can garnish your wages. They can take away any type of lottery winnings that you may happen upon. your job could be in jeopardy, just depending on what industry that you're in. For example, if you're in a financial industry, then it can definitely have a negative impact on your job. If you work in the student loan industry and your student loans go into default, then guess what? You could be in trouble and your job could be in jeopardy because you're in the federal student loan industry. So you're supposed to be setting the example for students. So if your loans were in default, you see what I'm saying? Good. Also, it can take a while before your loans become current again. If you do fall into that status, you've got to reach out to your lender. And your lender will give you some options. Of course, you can pay it in full. Most students cannot pay it in full. That's why they went into default, because they couldn't pay it. Or you can get onto some type of payment plan, or you can get into a consolidation payment plan. And what they do is consolidate your loans and tell you, okay, this is going to be your monthly amount, and you have to make a certain amount of payments in order to get out of that default status. Consecutive payments, what I mean by consecutive is back-to-back payments. And then once you have satisfied that, they'll send you a letter stating that you're no longer in the default status and that you're able to borrow federal student loans again. And you will see that positively impacted on your credit report as well. Don't just take out a federal student loan just for the sake of having money in your pocket. Take out only the amount that you're going to need for your degree program. I'm telling you, it's tempting because you can opt for the maximum unsubsidized portion of your loan. And if you have extra left over, then it will be a federal but just a reimbursement that will be due to you if you request it. Don't do it. It's tempting, I know. And they'll tell you, with federal funds, you can use your reimbursement for school, transportation, and housing, anything that's dealing with your education. But don't just take it out just to pay bills, just to have some coins in your bank account, because they're not your coins, they're Uncle Sam's coins. And Uncle Sam will come after you for his coins. So don't fall into that trap. But just be smart about it. Be realistic. Make sure, again, that you have good motives when you're taking out a federal student loan. Really sit down with your federal student loan advisor so he or she can go over everything with you thoroughly, so you'll know exactly what you're getting into. That's my advice to future students who are curious about a federal student loan. I hope this has been informative. I hope that this has been helpful for you. And I wish you the best of luck in your endeavors. Bye.